Am I wrong for ultimately wanting a divorce even after my wife has showed much more effort into our relationship? For context, coming into the new year I had no idea my wife had been at the bare minimum having an emotional affair with a coworker. On New Year's Eve, before I found out about this, she came home and acted extremely cold toward me and our kids. She was angry. Earlier on that evening she asked if she could go out to have one drink with a female coworker whom I knew and trusted. I told her that was cool, but that the kids were staying up for the ball drops, so as long as she could be back to celebrate with them I was fine with it. Well, she ended up getting off of work at 11:30 and barely had enough time to get home. After the ball drop she cried and cried. I asked her what was wrong and she said she got invited to her friend's house to have drinks with them. All three of them women, all married. I had no issue. I said, look, I'm not sure what's wrong and why you're crying about this. That's fine. You deserve a girls' night out every once in a while. I don't mind watching the kids. Just go. I put the kids to bed, she left, and then about 3 hours later, I tried to contact her. No answer. I wait about 15 minutes, call her again. No answer. I call her friend who she's supposed to be with. No answer. She then texts me back 5 minutes later and says, yeah, I'm still coming home tonight. We're still drinking. Never in our 6 years of marriage had I felt a gut feeling that something else was going on, but that night it all hit me. I went through our phone records and found another number I was unfamiliar with that she had been in contact with all night, ignoring my calls, texting that number in between, etc. She had also been texting this number for a 3-month period daily. I never suspected that she would be texting another dude while right beside me watching family movies either. As times had shown, how I didn't see this I have no idea. Maybe she had this individual listed as mom in her phone. I don't know. I had never gotten this vibe or feeling our entire marriage. I was blindsided by it. Anyway, I confront her about it through text with the proof like an idiot. She speeds home, deletes everything on her phone. No way of getting the backups restored. No way of ever knowing she did not meet up with this guy. Upon finding this out, I immediately told her I wanted a divorce. It was at this point she began getting violent with me, talking shit about everything I had been doing to keep us financially stable, the 18-hour work days that kept a roof over our heads. She told me that I needed to leave even though I pay rent and both our kids are asleep. I refused. We slept in separate rooms that night, and the next day she tried to act like nothing even happened, claiming that she remembered we'd fought, but couldn't remember what it was about. So I show her the phone records even though I'm positive she was just trying to pull some crap. She confesses who the individual was and says they flirted a lot, but never met up. I told her if that was true she'd have no issues restoring the text messages she deleted, at which point it was confirmed she deleted everything and deleted her last backup. She also saved a backup after they were deleted the night everything went to shit. Since then she's tried hard to convince me they never did anything and never saw each other aside from work. I keep finding bits and pieces of things that don't make sense. Chunks of text deleted from her friends' messages around that time. Pictures on her Google Drive from that night where she was with who she said she was deleted from her phone for what reason. The most damning evidence I have is for a 2-hour period on New Year's Eve. They stopped texting each other, then randomly started texting again at around 3 a.m. When I started calling and got that feeling, my gut tells me she left her friend's place, went to his place and went back. Or she went straight to his place from our place, then went to her friend's when she found out I was calling them. There are revealing pictures of herself she never sent me also on her Google Drive taken on Snapchat. She's since given me all her attention. She initiates intimacy tenfold. The texting stopped. She shows me everything on her Snapchat and even downloads her data to show me she's not hitting other people up. I'm seeing the side of her I haven't seen since we were married all those years ago. But I can't help but trust my gut in demanding a divorce. I feel like she's kept things from me. Not knowing for sure is killing me inside. My parents know all of this and keep pressuring me to work it out and not dwell. My brothers are saying fuck that, get a divorce. Am I wrong in getting a divorce? Keep in mind the dates. It's now been over 4 months since this occurred. I'm positive she cut the individual completely out, but I still can't get over the not 100% knowing, and my gut tells me she's still lying. Edit. If some of this is confusing, ask and I will clarify. I will also give context where needed. Also, Sorry for the way this was written. I'm aware there is some jumping back and forth, etc. I'm just scatterbrained right now. It's honestly getting to me more now than the night I found out. It just keeps building. I feel stupid. Edit 2. Also, forgot to add this: the individual in question is an employee she manages, as in, she is his direct supervisor. I've heard there are greater legal consequences for this, but I have no idea. For clarification, the individual in question is actually morbidly obese. I'm by no means fit, but I'm not fat either. Went back and looked at the timestamps for the pictures that were deleted of her and her friends at night. On Google Drive before that 2-hour period of no texting during and after, there were several pictures taken with verified timestamps on them, as in they cannot be changed on Google Drive. Whether or not she has a friend that's tech-savvy and was able to do that within the 10 minutes it took her to get home upon confronting, I don't know. Is this possible? It's also worth adding I come from a family that has thoroughly convinced one of my cousins that she needs to stay in her marriage even when her husband became solely reliant on her, got addicted to coke, is still addicted to coke and physically abused her. All because, by golly, no one in this family has ever gotten a divorce, so essentially doing so I would get disowned by my parents, my sister, all my cousins, all my aunts, all them uncles, but would still have the support of my 2 brothers. Update 1. Currently on morning break at work. Been reading through the comments. I have off tomorrow all day, so I will be heavily weighing my options when I get some time to myself tomorrow. May not update tomorrow, but I'll update y'all when I can. Thank you for all the input, positive and negative. The best thing I can do right now is just get through the work week, get my kids from daycare and be mentally present for them. I've been ignoring her since last night and she's been snapping and calling me all morning to see what's wrong. Update: am I wrong for divorcing my wife even though she's taken steps to? Those of you who saw, my wife had an emotional affair at the bare minimum and may have cheated. Probably did, but will never admit it. Here is the update. I sit here typing this out on my morning break while listening Tuesdays Gone By Lynyrd Skynyrd. After a long day of considering my options on Friday, I sat my wife down on Friday evening when she got off work and I had out the kids to bed. As soon as I brought up that my trust in her was completely gone, she immediately became argumentative and essentially stated, I thought we had left this in the past. You never trusted me, did you? I responded with, even if you didn't do anything physical or met up with him outside of work, you'll never let me see those text messages. You'll never pull the Snapchat data. She responded with, you're right, marriage is based off trust, and if you don't trust me then maybe we ought to call it quits. The irony in this is that I worked 18-19 days for the past few years, barely being able to do anything I wanted to do in my life, because I was supporting her children, getting them to bed, cleaning the house all the time, do all the cooking, barely even getting enough sleep. Probably took years off my life just from the stress. She on New Year's Eve said fuck the kids, fuck you, and essentially went out to party with her friends, all the while ignoring calls from me and her daughter asking where she was, while also responding to her bare minimum emotional affair partner. Not getting into all the details so as to not repeat myself between this and the update. Long story short, in my state we have to be separated for a year before a divorce can be finalised. When I agreed with her that we should start separating and that I had already been in contact with a lawyer, she freaked the fuck out on me. She begged me not to go through with it. But alas, next Friday I will be dropping her off at her parents' a few hours away. Kids will be staying with me for now with the help of one of my brothers. I told her there was only one way I would put this off for now. That was pull the data, pull the texts, prove your case. She looked down at the ground one more time and told me that's a violation of her privacy. We haven't spoken since. For now, for my kids, I gotta keep on keeping on. Update: trickle truth. First, it was a guy in a different state. Second, it was a co-worker. Third, it was someone underneath her that she supervises. Fourth, and just now randomly got a text from her stating she may have told him she loves him, but instantly regretted it. And that's it. Reaiged drive. Evil. Also, let me reiterate, the process of separation starts this coming Friday. In my state you cannot divorce immediately. It takes a full year. I say this because of all the people stating just divorce and be done with it, and also those stating stop giving second chances. Am I wrong if I don't want to participate in something romantic that my wife wants me to participate with her? I have been married for 4 years and 5 as a couple. During our first 6 months of relationship, she was a quite toxic person. She checked my cell phone almost every day, she called in every part of the day, she had fits of anger about everything and we used to argue, etc. At that time, for our first 6 months, I was preparing a gift for her, which was a small tree made of pieces of paper whose branches symbolized each month spent together, and each leaf was some special moment within that month. The thing is that during a discussion we had at that time, she had a fit of anger and ended up destroying what I had already worked on from that tree. That was the breaking point for me. I gave her an ultimatum. She sought help and spent several months in therapy that helped her a lot. I will not deny that in a short time she improved. We ended up getting married and well, the years passed and here we are now. During all these years she has been giving me manual gifts, from origami, cards with hand-drawn designs, drawings of us made on her iPad. She took digital drawing classes for that. And I must admit that since my tree thing happened, I never gave her a manual gift again. Whenever our anniversary or an important date arrived, I would buy something from Rossital, order food or cook her favourite dish. I figured that was enough. The thing is that our 4-year wedding anniversary happened a couple of days ago, and she told me that she planned for us to make a paper tree by hand for these 5 years as a couple, like the one I made that time. I told her that if she wanted to work on it she was free to do so, but that she shouldn't count on me. She sighed, sat with me, and told me that I had to let go of what happened 5 years ago. I told her that I had already left it behind, but I'm not going to do something again that she can break when she's angry. At that moment she started crying. She told me that it wasn't like that anymore, that she went to her therapy for it, that she took medication for it, and more blah blah blah. I told her that it's not that I don't find it cute, that it's okay for her to do it if she wants, but that handmade gifts are no longer my thing, and that after 5 years she should know that. In the end, the only thing I do is prevent her from ever having the power to break something I did to her. Then she got even more hysterical. She started crying for a long time about it, and I had to console her until she fell asleep. After that I started playing on my cell phone until I got bored and fell asleep too. The next day she apologised again for what she did 5 years ago. The truth is that during all these years she has apologised many times about it. She did it when she started her therapy, when she finished it when we got married, when we turned 3 years of marriage. She did it every time she gave me a manual gift, even when it was not our anniversary or some important date, like when she made me a hand-painted origami Darth Vader, or well, things like that. The thing is that she has apologised so many times that I don't feel her real apologies anymore either. But that doesn't matter. It's just a paper tree. I've already told her that I'm not going to participate in that, and she told me that it's okay, that she respects him and loves me. I love her too. I love her a lot, and I'm proud of how much she's improved, but I can't help but feel a little guilty about how our anniversary ended because she started crying because of something she caused herself 5 years ago. Now, she hasn't directly told me something like get over it or you're staying in the past, but I know her well enough to know that in her eyes there is this sadness for herself and for me that she is saying that. So am I wrong for not wanting to participate in that with her?